After scared Trump ignores Taiwan question completely, even White House officials conspicuously skip addressing the critical island issue. Are U.S. officials panicking after Xi's veiled warning threatens direct attack on America over Taiwan commitments? Emboldened by U.S. defeat in Iran, has China strategically cornered helpless Trump across global flashpoints? After months of dire Taiwan warnings, has Trump administration gone completely silent on island defense? Trump-Xi summit brutally exposes Washington's dramatic priority shift. Taiwan deliberately sidelined as Hormuz crisis dominates agenda. Wang labels Taiwan biggest risk to global stability. Days later, White House abruptly drops entire Taiwan issue from public discourse. After the U.S. president, the White House statement also avoided any mention of Taiwan, instead focusing its messaging on Iran, Hormuz, and broader economic ties. On May 14, the White House readout of Donald Trump and Xi Jinping's meeting made no mention of Taiwan, despite reports that both leaders did touch on the issue during the talks. This came despite Beijing's own statement reportedly discussing the issue extensively, underscoring how differently the two sides choose to frame which topics they consider central versus too sensitive to highlight in writing. Instead, the U.S. statement focused heavily on Iran, energy security, and the Strait of Hormuz, casting the summit as a moment to coordinate on Middle East stability and global shipping routes. White House statement said, and I quote, "The two sides discussed ways to enhance economic cooperation between our two countries, including expanding market access for American businesses into China and increasing Chinese investment into our industries." Leaders from many of the United States' largest companies joined a portion of the meeting. The two sides agreed that the Strait of Hormuz must remain open to support the free flow of energy. President Xi also made clear China's opposition to the militarization of the strait and any effort to charge a toll for its use. And he expressed interest in purchasing more American oil to reduce China's dependence on the strait in the future. Unquote. After his meeting with Xi Jinping in Beijing, Donald Trump sidestepped direct questions about Taiwan from reporters, repeatedly avoiding specifics on the issue even as journalists pressed him on Xi's warning. When a reporter specifically asked what Xi had told him about Taiwan, Trump brushed aside the question and replied that China's beautiful, shifting focus to pleasantries about the visit rather than policy. Trump's evasive comments came just after Beijing issued a stark message to Washington on Taiwan, with Xi Jinping warning that the U.S. must not interfere in the Taiwan question. During their talks, Xi Jinping openly threatened that Beijing is prepared to respond forcefully over Taiwan, making clear that any perceived U.S. crossing of China's red lines on the island could trigger a serious reaction. The Chinese president said, quote, "The Taiwan question is the most important issue in China-U.S. relations. If mishandled, the two nations could collide or even come into conflict, pushing the entire China-U.S. relationship into a highly perilous situation." Unquote. In response, Taiwan's foreign ministry quickly issued a statement addressing Xi's remarks, making clear that Taipei rejects Beijing's narrative and will not accept China's framing. Taiwan warned that China is the sole major source of risk to peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait and the broader region, accusing Beijing's military pressure and threats of creating the current tensions. The ministry also stressed that Beijing has no right to speak on Taiwan's behalf or make sovereign claims over it, insisting that only Taiwan's elected government represents its 23 million people and their future. The White House said both sides also discussed fentanyl precursors and agricultural purchases, pointing to narrower, transactional areas of cooperation even as the overall relationship remains tense. As per the statement, both leaders agreed that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, using firm language on non-proliferation. However, the readout did not say whether she agreed to help end the Iran conflict, leaving the extent of China's role in the diplomatic track deliberately ambiguous. Amid this, the absence of any explicit Taiwan reference in the U.S. text has drawn attention, given Beijing's consistent emphasis on the issue as a primary red line in the relationship. Earlier, she reportedly told Trump that the United States and China could come into conflict if the Taiwan issue is mishandled, as shown and emphasized in CCTV's coverage of the summit. Remember, in April, China's top diplomat Wang warned the U.S. over Taiwan ahead of the high-stakes meet, framing the island as a pivotal flashpoint in bilateral ties. On April 30th, Wang Yi termed Taiwan as the biggest risk factor of ties with Washington, using unusually blunt language. Wang Yi's statement came during a phone call with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, as reported by CCTV, showing that Beijing drew its red lines way ahead of the talks.
Let me say a few words first, and then I'd like to invite you, Mr. President, to deliver your opening remarks. President Trump, I'm very pleased to meet you in Beijing. Welcome back to China after 9 years. The whole world is watching our meeting. Currently, transformation not seen in a century is accelerating across the globe, and the international situation is fluid and turbulent. The world has come to a new crossroads. Can China and the United States overcome the Thucydides trap and create a new paradigm of major country relations? Can we meet global challenges together and provide more stability for the world? Can we, in the interest of the well-being of our two peoples and the future of humanity, build a brighter future together for our bilateral relations? These are the questions vital to history, to the world, and to the people. They are the questions of our times that you and I need to answer as leaders of major countries. This year is the 250th anniversary of American independence. Congratulations to you and to the American people. I always believe that our two countries have more common interests than differences. Success in one is an opportunity for the other, and a stable bilateral relationship is good for the world. China and the United States both stand to gain from cooperation and lose from confrontation. We should be partners, not rivals. We should help each other succeed and prosper together, and find the right way for major countries to get along well with each other in the new era. Mr. President, I look forward to our discussions on major issues important to our two countries and the world, and working together with you to set the course for and steer the giant ship of China-U.S. relations, so as to make 2026 a historic landmark year that opens up a new chapter in China-U.S. relations. I will pause here and hand over to you, Mr. President. Thank you.
President Xi, I want to thank you very much. First of all, that was an honor like few have ever seen before. And I think I was particularly impressed by those children. They were happy. They were beautiful. The military is obvious. It couldn't be better, but those children were amazing, and they represent so much. And I know they represent so much to you. You and I have known each other now for a long time. In fact, the longest relationship of our two countries that any president and president has had. And that's, to me, an honor. We've had a fantastic relationship. We've gotten along. When there were difficulties, we worked it out. I would call you, and you would call me. And whenever we had a problem, people don't know, whenever we had a problem, we worked it out very quickly. And we're going to have a fantastic future together. So I really look very much forward to our discussion. It's a big discussion. There are those that say this is maybe the biggest summit ever. They can never remember anything like it. I can say in the United States, people aren't talking about anything else. But it's an honor to be with you. It's an honor to be your friend. And the relationship between China and the USA is going to be better than ever before. Thank you very much. Thank you.